Why do people consider JK Rowling transphobic? I refuse to bow down to a movement that I believe is doing demonstrable harm in seeking to erode woman as a political and biological class and offering cover to predators like few before it. So, she's claiming trans people are seeking to erode women as a political and biological class. Sounds pretty fucking phobic to me. People who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumban? Wimpund? Wumud? Here she uses dismissive sarcasm to imply that only people who menstruate should be called women. 'Cause this cancellation of her. This is such a meaningless bullshit buzzword. People complaining about her being cancelled are actually complaining that anyone dared question her views. Ironically, the people who claim to defend free speech against cancel culture are actually vehemently opposed to anyone questioning their opinions or experiencing any consequences for what they say. JK Rowling has 14 million Twitter followers. She is a billionaire, and her latest book is sold by all major bookstores. She is widely considered to be one of the most influential women in the world, and yet people would have you believe she has been silenced by cancel culture. Watch ContraPoint's video on her. Jamie and Shaba made a really long video about it, and it explains everything pretty well. They cite scientific publications too. Her tweets and comments weren't inherently transphobic, and to a large extent the backlash came from people either misunderstanding or deliberately taking her out of context. But that having been said, her phrasing was questionable and deliberately confrontational. She had an opportunity to handle the subject gently and respectfully, but decided to take a different route. If a writer as talented as her is being misinterpreted, something's up. James Somerton made a good video about why everything she said in context is hella problematic. Someone is probably in the middle of frantically typing out a professional response explaining how she is indeed transphobic, but the pendulum has swung extremely far as to what people describe as anything phobic. You've probably seen everything that people are using to label her transphobic, but you're responding like a rational human being instead of losing your fucking mind. If you want to learn about this, or at least from someone in that community's opinions of the tweets, I'd suggest watching ContraPoint's YouTube videos about Rowling. Gently and respectfully, LMFAO, give me a fucking break. The lady had the balls to say that people who don't menstruate and simply identify as woman aren't woman, and a bunch of people pretended to be outraged as usual. Because the cancel culture is a ruthless bitch. I'm not exactly sure, but I know she sold some transphobic t-shirts and such, as well as making open transphobic remarks. But despite this, she was not cancelled, as people will say. She may have lost some fans, but she is still a billionaire and a very influential person. Maybe one of the most influential people in the world. And her most recent book is being sold in all major bookstores, as well as her still being active on most social medias and having millions or tens of millions followers on all of them. Wait until you hear Bruce Jenner's thoughts.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. CorpoCat is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.